We've all been there before. You're on a road trip, making great time on the highway, but someone's busting to use the bathroom. What do? Stop? Nah, mate. This is how you do it. Let's go. What up, YouTube? Tigo here, and today we are solving the problem of peeing on road trips. Let's go. It's a basic fluid transfer problem. You need to get fluid from inside you, outside the car. Today, we've got the solution. Now, this might just look like some tubing and a funnel, and fundamentally that's what it is, but we're going to take advantage of aerodynamics to make this happen. The average car traveling at 100 kilometers an hour has a high pressure zone generated in front of the windshield. With the windows open, there's a low pressure zone immediately behind the windshield. This prevents one passing liquid from inside the vehicle out through the passenger window because air tends to suck in. So if you were to attempt urinating out the window, you're going to end up with a face full of piss, and that's really not what you want. However, there's another low pressure zone generated by a vehicle on the highway, right at the tail here. Basically, the front windshield is punching through the air, generating a high pressure zone, and there is a void behind the car where the air has to suck in behind it. We're going to take advantage of that. This funnel is placed in the front passenger seat. This tubing then travels all the way to the back of the car where the outlet is situated low on the bumper. There's a low pressure zone at the outlet of this tube, which means any air and other waste fluid will be sucked out of the funnel and out of the car. No stopping required. Let's get this thing installed. So we start our journey here in the front passenger seat. This funnel sits nicely in the footwell until it's needed. We now need to run the tube to the back of the car. So we'll run the tubing neatly along the floor, down the side of the car, nice and easy. We then come along into the rear passenger area and just temporarily drop the seats to pass our hose into the cargo bay. It's also important to make sure that the tube doesn't kink while it goes through the rear seat area. We're going to double check that in a minute. We've got to find a way to get this out without kinking the hose. So we're going to very delicately tuck this down the side here, shut the boot, and see if we can get some flow. Finally, with everything set up and the tube passing from the passenger seat to the rear of the car, we need to make sure there are no kinks. So my assistant is going to pour some water in the funnel. I'm going to try and suck it through and make sure everything's working. Go for it. All good. All good. Little note, do this before using the equipment with bodily fluids because that's going to taste bad. So we just want to bring this right out to the center of the low pressure zone at the back of the car, and we'll trim it off there. Still works. Attention to detail is always important. All right, well, the system's installed. It's time to road test this puppy. Let's go. All right, so you've seen the installation and we have hit the highway. We are doing 100 kilometers an hour. We're ready to test this thing. We have the funnel. We have the bottle of piss. Let's see how this goes. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see how this goes. All right, oh, it is not going, it is not, oh, I am wet. It is not going well at all. And you can see I'm kind of cheating here. I'm kind of holding the funnel up quite high, which is quite a lot higher than you would hold it if you were trying to urinate. So I'm probably sort of cheating because gravity is giving us an assist. What's worse is I can't actually get much piss into this thing before it kind of backs up, and we're having problems with air bubbles. I wonder if I can sort of blow the piss through the system. Nope, I can't. I can drink the piss though. Trial run of the piss funnel, not good. There's air in the system. The vacuum at the back of the car is nowhere near as high as I would have liked. I wanted to get some pressure gauges to actually measure the pressure at the back of the car relative to the pressure inside. Unfortunately, it's not really working at all. So as we can see here, here's the funnel, and there's the piss. It's not moving at all. You know, that's disappointing. It's sort of bit by bit dropping down, but we're having serious issues. I was kind of hoping this would operate more like a vacuum, but really is not happening right now, so we've got to have a think. We'll see if we can get it to prime. We may have to prime the piss funnel, and I bet you've never heard anyone say that before. We've got supplementary piss here, and that's working, is it? No, it's not again. Having issues in that the tube starts here in the front passenger footwell and goes quite low, but then has to go up and over the rear seat, actually increases in altitude, and then goes back down at the rear of the tailgate. It's causing us issues. Basically, once we completely fill the tube with fluid, it flows quite easily. Until then, we get air bubbles, we get issues. So yeah, filling, problem. Yeah, I've got more piss on me again. I'm getting sticky. I think I know what may be the problem. Because I've got quite a lot of piss here, what's happening is I'm blocking the funnel entirely. The funnel is full. And the air bubbles get trapped and the funnel fills up, and then you have to quickly stop your piss stream, which is, you know, easier said than done. However, if I was actually urinating, I feel like the stream would be fine enough that it would, you know, go down the aperture of the funnel and there'd be room for the air bubbles to get out. So far, what we've discovered is once you get to a certain point, you get enough fluid in the system and get rid of all the air bubbles, it flows great. Until then, you have the very serious risk that your funnel will fill up and you're gonna get pee all over the car. So that's a problem. We're gonna work on a solution and we'll be back in a tick. All right, we've pulled into a local town to grab supplies. We need to make a few tweaks to the system, but this is gonna work. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna reroute the whole tube, try and keep the entire thing lower than the start point at the front, and hopefully that's gonna allow us to fill the tube easily without having to prime it first and risk spilling pee all over your lovely Volvo interior. So we've done some testing here in the car park in God knows where, and we realized the problem we're actually having is a flow rate problem due to the pipe. You can actually flow quite a lot of fluid through a 6mm pipe, which is what we're using, but you need pressure, and because we're just pouring liquid into a funnel, we don't have that. As we pour the fluid in, even with the tube going straight to ground, it takes ages to go down the tube. The problem we're having with this is the suction effect from the car traveling at speed. It's not really there. It's poor. It's very poor. We kind of hoped if we got up to around 100 kilometers an hour, the pressure was going to suck the fluid out. We're just not seeing that happen. Switching to a bigger 10mm tube, I think is going to help us a lot, both by creating more suction and also just generally allowing the liquid to flow easier. We are putting together our new system. We've upgraded a 16mm pipe for maximum flow. This thing is going to happen. So go ahead and run this up to the front. And this is my job now. This is professional work we're doing here today. All right, so we're just going to give this a quick test. Oh, so much more flow, so that's going to be much better. The sort of heights we can expect, we can see we can flow quite a lot more. It's still not perfect. We can see the fluids here, and it's not passing through all the way to the back of the car because the tube actually goes up towards the tailgate. That's a problem. We might have to try an external routing because this is just not working for us. Okay, so what we've done here is we've created an air hole. Now it's above the exhaust port of the funnel, so we don't have to worry about backflow of dirty fluids, but the air can still escape. I'm just gonna make it a touch bigger and then we should be good to go. All right, fingers crossed. Oh, that was bad. Okay. And the fluid just isn't moving. Okay, well, let's route it. We're gonna give it a red hot go on the highway. I'm done. This is the best setup we've got. We're gonna run it out down the side of the car. Fingers crossed this works. You ready? Yeah. Yeah, me too. All right, fuck it. Having further problems, if you look down here, we're actually having to raise the tube up to the midpoint of the guard so it can actually clear the wheel. All right, plan is get on the highway, 110, boot it, fingers crossed. Wish us luck. We are rolling, funnel in hand, fingers crossed. I've got the door just wedged open a little, and the thing is, there's no suction. My entire theory was like you'd get suction from traveling at speed, but you know, absolutely nothing. The air pressure difference is clearly not that much. I'd love to measure it one day, but it's just not working for us. So we're gonna go and do a test. The problem is at this point I actually quite need to pee because we've been driving around for bloody hours. So I'm kind of disappointed that this isn't working. So I'm gonna put this at the correct test height. We've got our little air hole we've drilled in the side of the tube. It's tough because I'm not really sure on what the proper flow rate is. I'm just sort of pouring a Coke bottle. No, it's spilling everywhere. I've just made a horrible mess. Oh God, I'm so wet. Don't try this at home, not because it's dangerous, it just isn't fun. And you would not believe how wet I am. Like, if you look down there's just, you know, if we were actually doing this with the proper fluids, there would be pee everywhere. The suction effect just isn't happening. You can see that the fluid is just building up in the tube and sitting there. It's just like peeing into a large, long, thin bottle. All right, we've made a final modification to the system. We've cut it off just at the base of the door, and we're gonna see if that actually works. We're gonna see last bit of water, giving it a go, and that is That's good. We've got, that's all the water we had left. We're just gonna have to give this a live trial. So, gentlemen, look away. I'm not proud of this. All right, we are on the road. We are motoring. Really, I hope you can't see what's going on here, YouTube. Shit. Don't do that. We're gonna bring that up a little bit. I wish I could get the pants right off. Nobody's looking, right? Fuck. Oh no, but the problem is, you've got to pee down because there's no suction, which is my whole initial plan. Oh God, he's opening up. Oh, I mean, it's working. I can confirm this will work for men, but without the initial suction that I designed. Oh God, no, it's gone out. Oh no, no, it hasn't worked, YouTube. Oh, I am not happy. I am very, you had to stop. You had to, couldn't get in the right lane. Fuck. And the thing is, I've just had to stop midstream. I'm not even, all right, I'm going to finish it. We're finishing this. Oh man. The problem is when you stop, there's like a flare, like a temporary increase in flow rate, and it really causes problems. Oh, you've got to like aim it right down the tube. Keep an eye out for cops. Oh, that's better. I cannot put this up. This can't go on. This. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Well, if you've got straight road ahead of you, you know, no surprises, you're cruising along at a constant speed, ideally you've got cruise control on, it'll work in its current iteration if you can aim straight down the tube. On the other hand, if you're in city streets or if a car pulls out and you've got to slam on the brakes, you will end up with quite a mess on your hands, which is what I'm currently dealing with. I'm gonna pack her up and have a shower as soon as I get home. Yeah, cannot recommend this, YouTube. This is not the solution to all your road trip problems. This is a dumb idea that some boy came up with and it's an absolute disaster. I'm glad we got it to work in the end, but I think my friends here will disagree with me and probably won't be in a hurry to get back in the car again for a while until I've, at the very least, had it steam cleaned. We fucked this one up big time. Till next time, TK out. After a full day's testing, we got nowhere. We went back to the drawing board. After a bit of a chat with everyone, this is what I came up with. We got a big old funnel now at the front of the car. Then we connect that to a tube heading rearward. We put in a Y fitting or a T fitting, either is good, and we send that into the car to our fluid funnel. All good. This then gives us air input at 110 kilometers an hour. Nice and fast. We have our fluid input here from the user's bladder, or under test conditions, a bottle, because we're not disgusting. And then we have exhaust. Now this may seem random or confusing, but there's actually a strong engineering basis for this method. You see, we have this big funnel at the front of the car acting as an intake, and as the air at 110 kilometers an hour enters the restriction or constriction, it speeds up. As it speeds up, it reduces in pressure. That reduction in pressure creates suction, which can be used to suck our fluid in and out to the back of the car, which is exactly what we have wanted all along. Now, this is known as the Venturi effect. This is a Venturi. Normally, you would actually have more of this kind of shape where you have a constriction and then you widen it back out again, and that is really how you should do it. I'll admit that I'm drawing this diagram after the fact and I wasn't really paying attention on the day. But this is the concept. We have air entering a constriction, it increases in velocity, decreases in pressure, which creates suction to suck the fluid out of the car and exhaust it behind. If you're interested in learning more about the Venturi effect, I want you to check out an Instagram called Sidicus Tutor. I've linked it in the description below. He is a very good friend of mine who has a PhD in engineering and runs an excellent Instagram sharing all these awesome science facts on a very regular basis. So now that I actually had a better idea of what we were trying to achieve, I couldn't wait to get started. I immediately started building another rig and hired another driver. All right, so as you can see, that was an abject failure. I got wet all over my pants. That was never the plan. Of course, we're not gonna give up. So I'm here with Ray, and we're gonna hit the road again.
Just on that, it was the plan.
Yeah, no.
I'm ready to begin.
You know, I think if we drive fast enough, we'll get away with it.
Dancing's easy, it's easy, it's easy. Dancing's easy, it's easy.
The kinks are a bit of a problem. I mean, we shouldn't shame the kinks. What I want to do is get some stainless steel in the footwell and build a proper urinal.
Dancing's easy. Ah, that's it. You're doing fine. Dancing's easy. I'll need some things to dance on.
Okay, we are out on the road, ready to give this thing the road test of a lifetime. It is a stunning 35 degrees, so any urine passed onto the roadway will be quickly evaporated.
I don't think it'll hit the road.
No?
I think it will actually form a gaseous slurry in the pipe, in the direct sun.
I've never heard the term gaseous slurry before.
You're not going to the right parties.
No. You're talking literally like steaming piss.
I'm talking like the electrons will be stripped away from those atoms.
I'm gonna just saddle up. You know, for the squeamish viewers, we are, you know, simulated urine today, but, you know, no time like the present. So we have the funnel. Oh, I'm getting a bit of suction. Put that up to your ear.
Wheel bearing needs to be replaced. It's working. I feel like it's working. We're getting some good flap action going on at the box.
Yeah, we'll show you that in a tick. If you have a listen, GoPro, you can hear there's a definite suck. So I'm gonna line this up. I'm raring to go. Okay, we're gonna test this thing. We've got our fake urine. We've got our funnel. It's wrapped around my leg. All right, we're gonna go for a simulated, quite quick urination here. And this is going well. I don't know how much suction there is, but gravity's certainly doing its job. I don't think I could piss this much fluid this quickly, and it's going down. I can't believe it. We're not just filling up the tube, it's actually flowing out of the car.
Great success.
Dude, it's working! It's working! Oh my god! Ow, holy shit! It's empty! Oh my god, I can't believe it worked. Wow, that smells bad. Can you smell that?
Oh, reminds me of my boyhood.
Oh my god. I can't believe it. Look at that, Mr. GoPro. Just, oh my god. It's flowing good. It's flowing free. You can pee in a car! You can pee in a car! Oh my god, finally! Shout out to Murder Clown the Sane, who actually helped us with this concept. Wasn't here today. He's the driver in our previous part of this film. So how do you feel about what you've witnessed here today, Ray?
Well, I'd just like to thank my mum and my dad and everyone who's helped me to get here. It's been a very emotional time and great success, and I think we've achieved a lot today.
I think we have. I can't hear much suction anymore. I wonder if we've broken something. Oh, the last of the water's gone and I can hear it sucking again.
Oh, so it works.
So it works. It does, yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
You can hear the fluid.
So it's not only gravity, which is in fact helping our bladder relief efforts.
It's
also
the ram air.
The ram air effect,
yeah,
through my box.
See, everyone always says on the old 70s sports cars, you know, the ram air was pointless. And
That's right.
We proved today that it is not.
Indeed, indeed.
All right, so at the end of the day, what can I say? It was a massive success. Was it a massive success?
Like, I've had some massive things in my life, many of which we won't discuss for reasons of propriety, but in terms of the massive scale, this was 7/10 of massive.
Yeah, absolutely massive. So basically, yes, if you need to pee on a road trip, you can do it in a funnel. It'll go all over the road and you can stay relatively dry. Thanks to Ray here for driving today. Thanks to Murder Clown and Alex for helping out. Alex, I want my shirt back. I'm not driving to your mum's house. I'm kind of a bit sick of the fact that you haven't given it back to me yet, but we'll deal with that outside of this. All in all, epic win. Till next time, TK out. I intended this to be graceful. Oh, here we go. Yep. Yeah, so it's a fantastic system. We can see here, we've got our big ram air duct at the front, doing a great job, hands off the box. Comes all the way down. We have our custom Y, which we built today out of a T-piece, and then it dumps just in front of the wheel. And the thing is, it's fantastic, it works. You don't have to pull over, you can just pee in the car like you've always secretly dreamed of. Fucking awesome.